If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the Open Doors, Open Minds YouTube channel. Don't forget to show your support by following us on Spotify and by following our social media platforms, links to which are in the description of this video.
Jeff from Best Mates.
And Carl from Best Mates.
So, fellas, I want to congratulate you and say, mate, that was, if anyone's been following the shows recently, we had them in a little while ago, and they rode from London to Paris for the Best Mates, not best friends, Best Mates, raising money. So, fellas, obviously, before we get into the nitty gritty of how it went, how much money did you raise?
We sat at £30,751 so far, which is
That's
above
a little bit above your £4,000 that you were after.
It's a little bit above what we were hoping for. So we're really pleased with how it's
That's
gone
not
so
with
far.
your bit that you're putting in.
That's including our bit. There's some more to come in still, so I think we'll probably top out somewhere around 35 grand.
Wow,
Good.
That's a good effort. That's a lot of help going out there, boys.
Yeah,
Beautiful, isn't it?
yeah.
That's good.
So obviously you're looking a bit broken compared to when you left.
Numb.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Obviously, obviously I've been following you on Instagram, and you one leg pedal all the way in. Do you want to tell the listeners at home how the whole journey went? Because I know you're a little bit gutted on certain points.
Yeah, well, for me, the whole journey, to be fair, was a success in the end.
Oh,
You
it's
know,
a massive achievement.
we took 14 riders who, some of who never met anybody before, didn't know anybody on the ride, and they give up a week of their time to put their body through absolute torture to ride 300 miles from London to Paris, right? So the ride was a success. We raised a great amount of money. We came across the line together in Paris, which was amazing as well.
Emotional.
It was emotional. I mean, I cried. I cried a lot. Yeah, I cried a lot. Yeah,
Me and him were stood there under the Eiffel Tower, cuddling, crying our eyes out.
yeah.
But,
Two big blokes, bald heads and beards, crying their eyes out. That was a sight.
Massive achievement, though.
Oh,
Emotional.
yeah.
Very.
Yeah.
When we were there, we just looking up at the Eiffel Tower, you just stood there going,
You made it.
"Wow."
Yeah, and it does seem, when you're out there, it does seem like a long way away. Do you know what I mean? You're riding through towns and villages, and then you're riding through the countryside, and these roads they're big and they're wide and they're long, and the hills are long, and you think they're never going to end. But when you see the mileage counting down, and you start to realise you're getting closer and closer, and actually that moment when you ride into Paris and you get to Eiffel Tower, is quite an achievement. It's quite mind blowing, really.
Yeah.
So did you all set out together, or was you paired up, or individual rides?
We set out. We set out. We very quickly spread out into sort of our groups, I suppose. Just natural fitnesses,
Ability.
different abilities, and so on. And I think from that, those groups sort of built really good sort of connections with one each other and drove each other through.
There were three very definite groups there. There was like the fast, the middle, and the slow. Everyone bonded together, but there were three very definite groups.
Yeah,
because, of course, you're bringing together all these people of different ages, different abilities, different sizes. You had people, you had one guy who basically did the whole ride in kind of swimming shorts, trainers with the wrong pedals on a steel bike that was probably about 150 quid, right? And then you had other guys that are doing it in all the gear on $5,000 bikes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So there's different levels. There's different levels, but
Seen it,
everybody came together as one group, even though there were, little pockets of people, and they all became friends with each other, which is what it was all about.
Right, before we go, obviously, I want to get into the whole thing. So obviously I can see that list in front of you.
Yeah.
So who actually did it with you then? So who was because you had sponsors.
So
and all sorts of
list of the guys that sort of rode with us. Obviously myself and Carl.
Yeah.
Then we had Ant Snoddy, Duncan Ross, John Nutt, Rob Hunter, Sean Curran, Julian Hogan, Ed Reynolds, Neil Forrester, Matt Lee, Simon Curran, Stuart Hooper, and Penn Stalley.
Well done,
mix.
boys. I know you're not in the studio right now, but from Open Doors, Open Minds, and all the other listeners, well done, guys. That was an achievement.
Thank you. I mean, those guys essentially put their backsides on the line, didn't they? Literally for 4 days to get to Paris, but they couldn't have done it without the support staff that we had as well.
Yeah, of course.
We had Paul Howlett, we had Sammy Dutton, we had Andy Hughes, we had Nick Stevens, and Corinne Paul, and the five of them together pulled the whole event together. We couldn't have done it without them. They picked me up in the van. They picked other people up in the van.
Yeah.
They were running, drinks and food to people when they really needed it, repairing bikes.
They actually had to pick one of the guys up take the mick, but we were riding on. He was riding on a tractor. It was a nice bike, but he just literally he came off on the first day, just literally didn't pull out of his cleats and just rolled over onto the floor, but he smashed his derailleur into his spokes on the first day. So managed to get down to the ferry, and then we got the other side. He went out the following day, so called the support vehicle, and they come and picked him up, took him out to a bike shop, fixed his bike up, put him back on the road, and away we went again.
Oh, so they were literally the ones that kept you boys.
They were the glue.
Yeah,
they were literally the glue, because without them, and they organised everything as well from start to finish. So we had nothing to worry about. You know, we knew where we had to get to, and that was it. They made sure everything was right when we got there. The hotels were all checked in, our bags were ready. Oh, wow. It was they did everything.
So you really boys had to really
just had to concentrate. Pedal.
Yeah, we had the easy bit really.
Yeah, proper easy bit.
The easy bit. Obviously, I see on one of your Instagrams that you had one leg or one of the pedals.
Yeah, you know, I mean, we all had injuries and strains and muscle pulls and stuff. Do you know what I mean? And at different points in the ride, but you know, the kind of the camaraderie brings you through. But yeah, at one point, I'd hurt my knee and I'd hurt my Achilles, and I was a couple of miles from outside one of the towns we were riding, so I had to ride in on one leg, and it was interesting, but you know, you kind of do it. And then on the last day, I couldn't carry on at one point, so I had to get picked up in the support vehicle.
So my question:
it was raining that day, mind.
At you two first, obviously we was having a laugh and a joke before, you know. Who got picked up first in the van?
Jeff.
Right, I did. Yeah, on day one.
Yeah, is that to make sure you got the ferry?
Yeah,
because that's all the most achievement. We all do that.
Hang on.
He goes on though. Who did the most miles?
Me.
How did you do most miles?
Because I've got it written down somewhere. We'll sort it out later.
Yeah.
But
you got picked up in the van, didn't you?
I also got picked up in the van on day one. But in my defence, it's because we did the best mate thing and we waited for people and sorted them out and helped them out. You know, there were incidences from the start, like before we'd even set off. One of the friends of the group shut my finger in one of the car doors.
That was his confidence.
Yeah.
And then he needed for his undercarriage, so he didn't chafe up.
That was what I needed to put Vaseline on my gooch. And then 20 yards into the ride, someone's shoe broke. So that took 20 minutes to fix.
And the ferry was brought forward.
The ferry was brought forward. We didn't have a window.
That was the key thing, wasn't it?
We didn't have a window.
The ferry was brought forward to an hour closer than what we needed. Had we have had that hour, I think we'd have all just managed to get in there just in time.
Before you got picked up, how many miles did you do on the first day before you got picked up?
I was at, must have been at 73, 74.
82.
Oh, right.
I was literally
I lost 10 miles.
Yeah, if you had that
10 miles,
I think you would have
done it.
Yeah, we were easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
So it's kind of circumstance rather than not being.
But that was the whole point of it. And to be fair, the first day was the worst by a country mile. The most hills, the most climbs, the worst roads. Britain's roads are absolutely terrible.
You're trying to say the French roads are better than the British roads?
Honestly. If you want to go and have a look how it should be presented, France is like England and it's been cleaned up.
Oh, wow.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, really. The roads are quality. But it's made for cycling. So there's cycle paths as well, which are really smooth and really quick. So it was the England was the hardest day by a mile.
Proper tough.
Wow. So obviously, I can see there's a lot of emotions and mental health. How did you boys? Obviously, for the listeners out at home, how did you support each other? Obviously, mentally, because that was obviously a tough time.
I think you built your little relationships. You sort of partnered up with a couple of people because you found those abilities, and I think once you found that, it was one day I was riding with John and Ant most of the time, and John was done and he needed picking up and pulling along, and then when he was back in gear and I was on really feeling it, he did the same for me, and we had Ant with his bike problems and so on. But we also, it was beautiful because we had the guy called Penn Stally who was on the trip. We'd never met him in our life before, but he's become a bit of a legend between us all because he's fit, he rides. Whenever we had a puncher, we'd put it in the group, we got a puncher, and rather than a support van, Penn would turn around and ride back 5 miles, fix it, and off he'd go again. This guy was an absolute legend.
Legend.
We were coming into, I think it was the last day because Ant was on his third puncher of the day, wasn't he? And we'd stopped by this roundabout, and I think it was the third puncher in about an hour and a half. And Penn was we now know that he's probably 2.5 miles around through this town, down a hill, up a hill, and sat at a cafe with some of the boys who were in front. Put a message in the group. Anyway, we're all sort of facing the bike, trying to fix the puncher. Turned around and Penn was stood there. It was like Superman had arrived. We're like, wow, Penn's here, and just fixed it. And,
Problem solved.
it was like that. And none of us can use our hands. So Penn was like, oh, Penn, can you just do it? And he just did it, and off we went again. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
You say you didn't know this guy prior to doing it. How did you all come together?
So a lot of the guys we knew, but the ones we didn't, they kind of come from friends of friends who'd heard about it. You know, Penn Stally came via one of our ambassadors, Andy Hughes, who was originally going to do the ride but then couldn't make it. So he came, via him. So it was quite an achievement that we pulled 14 guys together that didn't know each other, but actually all really bonded, really got on really, really well. And there were a few surprises in the group. Penn being one of them. He actually won our Best Mate of the Week award.
Oh yeah, deservedly
because he was the guy that he went above and beyond for everybody else on the ride.
Yeah, just awesome, proper positive approach to everything.
Yeah.
You need that.
Oh,
You
we
just
did.
need somebody like that.
You
don't you?
did,
you
but
do.
when you're riding and you're just thinking you've got nothing left, you're like needed that somebody to come along or your teammates to come on. We've only got this hill, and you're looking at that hill thinking,
you're pushing,
all right, mate.
you're pushing up a hill, really pushing. You see someone in front struggling, you get behind them, you're shouting, "Come on, you silly Billy!"
Yeah, you say it a lot. Yeah.
Me and Gareth would still be there trying to get to the ferry. But no, guys, obviously I've just seen that who were your main sponsors then? So who do we need to thank for obviously?
Yeah, I mean, so we had quite a few sponsors actually, and without them, you can't make the trip work really, because they take away such a big financial burden. So we had Paratus Group. They're our main sponsors. Duncan Ross, who was on the trip with us, is the MD, and he came on and said, "Look, I'll be the main sponsors for you." So that was really good. Did make a difference. We had Magic Touch Promotions, a company in Swindon, run by John and Eden, who took care of our shirts and the print for our shirts. So the T-shirts that we rode into Paris as a group on the last day were all done by Magic Touch Promotions. And that saved us a lot of money, which was great. We had Precise Fire and Security, which is owned by Simon Curran and Sean Curran, who were on the ride.
Yeah.
APS Advisory, who was owned by Ant Snoddy, who was on the ride. They provided
They sponsor. They also
they provided the sport vehicles for us free of charge. So we had the Transit Custom and a Volkswagen Transporter to provide all the logistics on the trip, along with Palmer and Martin, who gave us a Luton van to carry all the bikes back from Paris in. Gavin Symes at GS Commercials.
Riding back.
I did. Nobody wanted to come with me
Yeah, my knee was a bit sore. I thought, I can't.
because on Saturday I certainly couldn't drive back. If you know what I mean. Gavin Symes at GS Commercials gave us a vehicle to get all of our kit to London on the first day, and they all gave that free of charge. Signet Health provided every rider with 2 water bottles for the ride.
Wow.
And One Vision Signs and Copy Colour in Swindon did all of our signage and all of our print. So we had some really big big help. Saved us a few £1,000.
These guys have done. You just can't do it without them. We're out. We mapped the route out, and the guys at Copy Colour printed all those arrows, and we've gone out and sticking them on signposts. But how long did it take us? We started at 5 o'clock on the Wednesday morning.
Yeah, we got to Dover at 10 p.m.
Yeah. Quite literally
walked
back in the house at 2 o'clock in the morning after just rooting it.
Trying to put stickers
But
on.
of course, we needed those stickers to be able to just make it work, and they did work.
It did work, yeah.
Just it's a small token, but what it actually meant to us was huge. All of it.
That's the thing. A lot of people
when you weren't
realise when you're doing something for charity based, there's actually a cost involved in doing it.
Yeah,
So
nothing.
although you've made that amount of money, it probably cost you half of that just to actually do the event.
There's still a cost attached, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
exactly that.
Without the sponsors, without the boys, it wouldn't have been possible, I suppose, would it?
No.
So
Absolutely
obviously
not.
raised that money. So how much again was it you raised?
£30,751
So
so
what are you
far.
planning on to do with the money? What is obviously you've raised it for a purpose? What is it that you're planning on?
Yeah, I mean, it means we can help more people now. I think we said to you before that we can put someone through mental health counselling for a month for £500. So, to put that into perspective there, that's my quick maths is pretty slow,
exactly.
but that's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people. But we can reach out as well. We do the walk and talks and stuff. And if we find those, one of the big things that people don't always reach out. And if we can then identify people that need, we can at least go and try and help and, try to bring them forward and make that happen, I think. And I think that's key for us is just now we with that, we can go and make those decisions and say, let's go and find those people. Yeah.
Loads.
Just change people's lives. So all those boys on that ride are about to start helping people to a better.
So basically,
Better
between the
place.
sponsors, the guys that ride, you've changed so many people's lives just with that money.
We'll be able to, yeah.
Yeah.
it's gonna
Massive.
change. But obviously, going forward, what's your next plans then?
We've got a few more events lined up. We've got a golf day on August the 9th, which we have a couple of teams available for if anybody wants to play in that. Some of us are taking on the Thames Path Trek, which is 100 Ks over 24 hours in September. If people want to come and join us on that, they can. That's just a walk.
Walk along the Thames.
Walk along the Thames
A long way.
from the centre of the city to Henley on Thames.
I'm up for that. I might get off at Reading. Don't pass me out, see what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got our winter ball in November.
Yeah, we'll come to
Yeah.
that one.
I'm doing the CEO sleep out in where's that? Bristol.
Bristol.
Ground?
Yeah.
That's in November.
We've got a golf day in London, on the outskirts of London, Romford, on October the 4th. And this bike ride is now going to go again, but London to Brussels in June next year. So if anybody wants to put their hand up for that, now's the time to do it.
We're on it.
Two.
boys.
And
We
there's,
are there.
there's two very big hands just gone up in the studio.
The guys and the sponsors and everyone previously, that money, obviously, when you break it down to what it's about to do, yeah, we'll definitely.
Great.
It's going to do a lot.
I might try and get myself a shape between now and then. But
I'm in shape. I need less.
Yeah. Time in the saddle. Advice. Time in the saddle. That's
because you didn't quite get up to, what did you get, the 70 when it was your best before you?
I did a 70 the Sunday before, just to gauge where I was. And actually, it was.
Nowhere near Paris.
No, to be fair, it was because we were.
Why I got picked up in the van?
No, it wasn't. It's because of time constraints. It wasn't because I was knackered.
Oh, do you know what?
It was-
I'm waiting to do the ride because I reckon this is going to be.
Yeah.
Yes, it's going to be painful, but it's going to be such a crack at the same time.
It is a great crack. But look, I think, it's it was just awesome. You sort of lost for words for what you want to say about it because you can't sort of put it into.
It's a shame for the listeners. You can't see the guys' faces because he's telling an amazing story.
And their bodies, the way they walked into the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to see us walk down steps and up the stairs is pretty funny. But we're getting there.
Oh, bless. So I'm trying to make it funny and serious all at the same time, but I just can imagine both of you. So who was the first one to cry? Because that was the.
I think that was
Hard to tell, really, because
that would have must have been.
I mean, I
we avoided each other for a few seconds because we knew damn well what was going to happen.
yeah. I think technically me, because I cried when I got picked up in the van because I thought I wasn't going to finish. So technically it would be me.
Yeah, we lost that bit.
Yeah. So
Having a bit of a wager. So who do you reckon? Because obviously that must have been really
Oh,
nice.
seriously,
I watched
yeah.
what you got.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it was just the pride when we got to the end.
Yeah.
I was close. I mean, there was a point where I'd stopped. I was done. Not that I wasn't going to complete it. I actually rang my missus. I videoed her and I video called her and just had a quick chat with her. And usually I'd go, but she's said the right words, put me on my bike on my way, sort of thing, which made a big difference. But for me, it was just when we crossed that line in Paris was just ridiculous. That emotion was just like, there was no way in the world that I was holding back. Grabbed hold of him, and we just stood there, haven't we?
just sobbing it out,
Proper loving each other for a couple of minutes. Come on, bro. Love you, bro.
Yeah, it was
really,
pretty
it was
much
that,
word for word, yeah.
So, right, because we'll definitely 100%, because obviously knowing what it's about to do and all the rest of it, we'll definitely be on it. Yeah.
Sweet. That's good.
Well, he didn't give me much choice. He was like, and then obviously watching you boys, and obviously I could see the emotions that you boys were going through, and I'm like, no, I've got to step. Well, we should be quite interested because there's not much hair between the four of us.
No, there ain't.
It keeps you streamlined though, doesn't it?
Aerodynamic.
Yeah.
Aerodynamic.
Yeah.
Aerodynamic.
Swimming caps for us.
Yeah.
So obviously we're just talking off of there and where they've gone. Do you want to explain to the listeners at home about the emotions, obviously, when you went to the Somme?
Well, it was, for me, that was my highlight of the week. It was something unexpected. We knew we were going to be riding through, and we'd arrived at different stages with different people we were riding with, but we went to the first sort of graveyard area, and you felt the atmosphere as you sort of rode through and really got a feel for where you were and what was going on. But from there, we came out of the first graveyard, and we rode up this steep hill to sort of a first Cafe Point. I forget what the turrets are called, like the lookout towers and so on.
Marshal's Tower, I think.
Yeah, something like that. And anyway, it was turned into sort of a flat, and this Irish couple ran it over a little cafe. So we've gone in to order a beer each, actually, just thinking we're just going to have a beer and then get on our way. Anyway,
Pint of energy drink.
Pint of energy drink, of course. Yeah. Anyway, the lady that served us, she came out and she just started talking to the four of us about where the German front line was and where all the different countries were out fighting, and just showing us points all around where we were of really what went on and how things would have been, and how awful it was effectively. And then basically we're stood there chatting away to this lady who's lovely, just feeding us with information. We're all really, really interested. And then suddenly you hear some drums beating in the background. And we're like, what's going on here? What's going on here? And then all of a sudden an Irish band come marching up the road. Unbeknown to us, we've just pulled up just to soak it all up. And this Irish band comes with the whistles and drums beating. And serious, the hairs on the back of our necks were like stood up, where we've got to riding our bikes, and we're like, all we're doing is riding 300 miles.
People do it, sacrifice.
It really drove it home to say, we're only riding 300 miles. If those guys hadn't done what they've done, we wouldn't be here doing what we're trying to set out to achieve.
It's quite a sombering place, the Valley of the Somme. It's the atmosphere or the feel of the landscape just changes when you get in there. I don't know how to explain it.
People have always said it, and then when you witness it, you're like,
do you know what? Every person I know that's been to there or Warsaw or any of the you could just the whole of the. They said it's like electric, like I've seen feeling.
It's really bizarre.
The body just goes in.
Yeah.
We've rode through.
I went to Auschwitz a few years back.
Yeah.
Again, very similar.
People say it.
Yeah.
Sort of feeling.
It kind of. I mean, we slowed down. We said we'll just stay here. We're just going. I'll carry on talking to these people for ages because the stuff you're listening to. But then she pointed us round to a cenotaph around the corner.
Oh, what? Sorry.
A big war memorial, the biggest one in France.
Biggest one in France. But basically, this war memorial's got 72,000 engraves on it of people, names and unknowns of people that died. 72,000. That's Old Trafford. Absolute bonkers when you think of it that way. Yeah. And then on the back of that, started talking to this tour guide who just come over. We were just chatting away to him, and he started telling me a story about a guy that ran. I think it was the British Red Cross. Was it? I think. And this guy, he was building hand grenades. So in the World War, he's building these hand grenades. He built 48 hand grenades, ready for the lads to go out and start fighting with. Handed the first one out. These hand grenades take like 10, 15 minutes to assemble. Yeah. He handed the first one out. The guy came in to come and take it out of his hand, knocked it out of his hand, run between his legs under the 47 hand grenades that he built behind him.
Oh.
Stepped forward and took the blast for all 48 grenades.
Yeah, pushed the guy out of the way.
Pushed the guy out of the way and took the blast. I mean, I've just gone
and
into toe.
He got the
British
Victoria Cross.
Victoria Cross, yeah. And it's when you're in that environment and you're thinking, this is what I'm doing. This is pretty amazing stuff. That just brings it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But honestly, I'll say to anybody, you get the chance to go through that and go and experience, take your time.
It humbles you.
100%.
It does, because there's in the military cemetery we visited, I think it's called the Ankara Military Cemetery. There's a book that you can open up and it lists all the graves that are there and everybody who's in them. And you just look at the ages, right? 17, 18, 19-year-olds, and they've probably only been there, a minimal amount of time before their lives were taken. And and then we're moaning about a steep hill.
Rest of the trip, everyone were like...
In one way, that must have given you a bit more motivation.
100%.
Yeah, it does.
Do you know what I mean? Without them, without the whole thing, like you said, 17, 18-year-olds, without them sacrificing their life, they probably, like you said, could have been there, got there in the morning kind of thing, and be dead by lunchtime.
Exactly.
Gav, you mentioned a minute ago about your self-talk when you're on a bike by yourself and your head's going, right? You're there thinking about all sorts of things, but actually, you're trying to get up this hill in your lowest gear at every pedal you're feeling, but you're going, well, come on then, let's just do it. And it just changes your mindset, and it's powerful stuff, really.
We are lucky, I think, as a generations that have come after that, because sometimes, and I'm not saying it is in the mental health is mental health, but some of the things them guys must have had to go through, the thoughts that must have been going through their friends go.
Exactly. You see all these things they see.
Yeah, it kind of does sometimes, not that your problems aren't this is important, but there's a whole lot
Makes
of
you think,
different
doesn't it?
problems. It does take it into perspective.
It does, but don't forget, everybody's problems are relative to them,
Yeah.
right? No one's problems are necessarily bigger or smaller than someone else's. They're relative, but it does put it into perspective, about what we're all going
The
through and
reason
what
why
they
we're
went
here
through.
being talk on the radio station because these guys sacrificed literally their life for.
Yeah, so that was a sombering moment.
Yeah. So what happened after you left there then, guys? What was the next?
Where do we go from there?
Was that
I think
when
that
we
was
come
when
out?
we rode into Compiègne, wasn't it?
That's it, with the big red road.
With a big
Red road. They call it the big red road because it was a great big long, orangey coloured red road, but it was one of those roads that was very bumpy, and it done me because every time if you stopped pedalling, it literally took all the speed out of the bike. I got to the point where I was thinking, my saddle was lowered.
Yeah. But he had this trick, right? We were going down this big hill, right? And I said to him, should we gun it? He said, yeah, let's gun it. So I gun it, right? And he's coming with me all the way. I'm gunning it down the hill, right? I'm head down, I'm down on my drops. And I'm pedaling fast. I'm listening, right? And all I can hear behind me is click, 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 click. He's coasting behind me, right? He's right up my rear. And he's not pedaling a thing.
Streamlined in, baby.
Right? And then as I'm knackered at the bottom, he comes past me.
Worked a treat. Love that. Yeah.
I think he had a lot of extra energy from day one where he got picked up so early.
Yeah, you gauged yours. Yeah,
the next 10 miles.
the next 10 miles I did. Yeah.
Oh, so hang on. So you were streamlining.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You go for it, mate.
obviously didn't think it would be better the other way around. you would have had to pedal, mate.
I know.
What other memorable things did you?
Do you know what?
There's a list.
It's so hard to pick like highlights of the week. But there was one thing that it popped up on our WhatsApp this morning. I think one of the photos that came through, and it was a picture of a guy, Stuart Hooper, who he's the guy that did the water bottles for us, and he got a puncture as we were riding out of Paris to our hotel. And
Bear in mind, we got to Paris. We still had 20-minute ride to get to the hotel after.
But rather than hold everybody up and get it fixed, he put his road bike on his back and got on a line bike and carried on for the rest of the ride to the hotel. And for me, that picture kind of epitomises what it was all about. Yeah. Like just get it done. Just no matter by hook or by crook, get to the end.
So what did you do? Obviously, there must have been low points. How did you pick each other up within mental health? And obviously, because I want to use the word mental health is life. Isn't it?
I think what you're out on a bike, you're exercising, yeah. So I think in terms of what we're all trying to achieve is we've got a vision of where we're going. I said at the beginning, roll on 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock Friday afternoon. I can't wait to get to that point. But actually, when you're in the middle of doing it, you're feeling it, and you're going up. You've got your highs, and your lows are low, but you're all feeling the same things at different points. And I think that's the key: is you overlap that, and you're right. You're giving each other a nudge,
yeah, and you're pushing people up the hill and stuff, like verbally pushing them up the hill from behind. Come on, you got this. We can do this, and you stick with people, and you kind of stick it out together. So although you'd expect the kind of the low points come at the end of the day, but it didn't, because that was the sense of achievement because you'd finished the day.
Yeah.
And then you're talking about how it
You
went.
all meet up at the same place at the end.
Always at the same place, and then generally had dinner together. We'd wake up and have breakfast together and leave together. So the low points would be out on the ride, and people had different ways of dealing with it. So I would like, I'd FaceTime people if I got really stuck, because even if it was generally on the really big hills, because it just took my mind off of looking. I had to look down at my phone. Obviously,
don't look up.
I should be looking at the road really.
I
But
get what you mean. Distract. That's how I do.
total distraction from
distract yourself.
So FaceTime people on the way up, or and as bizarre as it sounds, if you found someone else that was struggling, that really helped because it took your mind off it again.
Then you're helping them.
And you can also use that in a nice way to slow yourself down a bit. There were times when it was a case of right, just chill, just pull back. Pull back, don't worry, just let yourself recover a little bit and then push again.
And I tell you what, right, the story of the tortoise and the hare is absolutely true, right? So on day 2, I've gone out, thought I'd go with the fast boys. I think that's why I've done my ankle, to be honest, because I pushed it too far. But
obviously didn't stretch.
Julian Hogan, who was on the ride, he set off. He's the guy with the swimming shorts, the trainers, right? He had a bum bag or something full of food hanging off the handlebars. I think he had a speaker. He was doing live videos on his phone on the ride, but he said, I'm going to do 15 kilometres an hour the whole way. That's it, right? And he did, right? But he did it, and he pushed through, and then into day 3, I think actually on the last day as we rode into Paris, he was second to the lunch stop behind the fast boys. And he just plodded and he plodded and he plodded.
themselves out quite quick.
Pretty much. And he smashed it out, to be fair. And he said he got an award for like the most improved of the week.
So what would you change for when obviously we do the next one? As in, would you change the bike? Would you change the saddle? The clothing? Anything like that?
No, I think that was all. That was it became quite apparent that it didn't matter what you had between your legs on this trip. It was a good bit of equipment. I mean, is
that euphemism?
Yeah, it was. It was
So how much?
It was key.
How much was your bike?
Well, I borrowed mine off one of the guys. So I actually trained on a hybrid, and everyone were like, "You need to get yourself a road bike," and I was very ignorant, saying, "Nah, we'll be all right." But I think actually training on a hybrid did me a lot of good because it's a heavier bike, harder to ride. Mm-hmm. But then when I borrowed Andy's for the ride, he said, "Do you want to borrow it?" And this is like a $5,500 Trek bike, beautiful bit of kit. And like when he says I was just rolling behind him, the bike did the work. Honestly, the difference was massive. So you do need to have a decent bit of kit to ride.
So you had roughly a $5,000 bike. What about yours? Because he was making you do the work, so the $5,000 bike would come.
Yeah. Mine was like a penny farthing compared to his. But mine was just a £1,000
gravity
Boardman.
helps downhill as well, right?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, just a £1,000 Boardman. So not cheap. It did the job. It did the job.
It did the job, but
just a decent bit of kit.
But you know what, right? Julian proved that it's mind over matter. Because he was on a steel bike that he wasn't
like a normal bike.
He was riding the bike, but it had clean pedals on it.
It's the bike you'd find in your granddad's garage, right? Yeah. And it had the wrong pedals on it, and he had the wrong equipment. But he did it, and he smashed it out. And do you know what? He has the best attitude to life. He's very much, kind of que sera. We'll get there. Don't worry about it. It is what it is. Right? I mean, he turned up on the last day, right? And he pulled up at the van and he said, "Oh, just have a quick munch." So he smashed down some crisps and he smashed down some jelly sweets. And he said, "So lunch stop's quite close, isn't it? It's about 2 hours." 2 hours? That's a long way. But for him, it's just 2 hours. That's the attitude he had.
Every negative was a positive.
Yeah.
That's not
massive.
That's quite a good way to.
Yeah.
So on that note, we're going to go into, which we try to play on the show that I've now realised I didn't mess it up. So just want to put that out there to all the listeners. It wasn't me that messed it up. It was playing, but it wasn't playing. Obviously, guys, when we were talking off air, you were saying you wanted to thank somebody else.
Listen, for me, my family, my wife, my mum and dad and everyone behind it, watching me go out and do that, and I know what they were worried about. I'm not the fittest guy in the world, but I mean, just achieving what I've just done is changing my mindset. I'm in a different place now from getting that done. And getting it done without absolutely destroying myself, I mean, I feel I've done it, but it's...
The smile on your face says it all. I can see that you boys are...
My missus, we got home Saturday, Carl dropped me off at the door, my missus was there and she'd arranged a surprise welcome home party, so I had the family, our friends in the back garden. I was like, just walked through the door and I was like, God, honestly, but it was fantastic, do you know what I mean? It's like, without that behind you, and all your friends and family cheering you on, your little messages coming through on your phone, your WhatsApps, and there you go, and you got this, and then you see Facebook, and it's just amazing how that just makes you crack on.
Those extra bit of us.
Those messages of support from home, they mean a lot, because there are times out there when you're feeling broken and you don't want to carry on and you're stressed, and they're sending you message support and telling you how proud they are and all that. I didn't get the welcome home party that he got. I walked through the door and my son said, "What, Dad?" I said, "Yeah." He said, I've loaded the dishwasher.
Oh, there you go.
Thanks, Archie. Appreciate that.
That's exactly what I would have gone about. Right, Dad,
yeah, that's what I got. Yeah. So, but I spoke to lots of people while I was away and FaceTime people and got message support, and it does help you through. It really does.
Yeah, you need it.
You need it. Yeah.
So do you think we've conquered everybody? For the thank you and for the... Because obviously that was...
I think,
it is a mission. But look, like I said off air, the people on the ride, the support staff, they're the ones that made it happen. They're the ones that made it what it was, right? And we had a dinner on the final night where we all came together as one and celebrated the ride and celebrated each other. And, there was a lot of thigh slapping, a lot of back pain, a lot of clapping. There was tears, there was laughter. There was a lot of alcohol amongst the other people. I'll say pretty good, to be fair.
You did you?
Pretty much well in control.
Oh, yeah.
Almost got thrown out of the hotel, but I pretty much well in control.
It was a nightclub.
I did think it was a nightclub. I thought the hotel was a nightclub, but I went into reception creating an awful lot of noise. I almost got thrown out, and then trying to operate the lift by pressing the wall. It wasn't even the buttons, just pressing the wall. I think I was spiked.
I think you did an area.
Is that why you're going to Brussels next time?
Nothing to do with the amount of energy that you took, that you were tired, and then alcohol.
Probably what it is. All those energy drinks had after the ride.
Yeah. It's nothing to do with
No. So it was those guys on the ride that made it what it was. Like
100%,
amazing
100%.
people, amazing support team, just worldies. Can't thank them
want
enough.
to thank you from Open Doors, Open Minds, because the lives that you're going to be able to help with that, and obviously want to thank all your sponsors and everybody that did that ride, because the money that you've raised is, and I can see where that's going to go in the sense of when I was literally broken. If I had you guys around, and like I said, that £500 for a therapist, and the waiting list, it makes such a difference to somebody that needs that help and be able to be supported.
Yeah.
So from Open Doors and all the listeners out there, I'll just say well done, fellas, and let's do the next one.
Absolutely.
Now you've raised all this money and you're going to send it out there. If anybody's looking for help, how can they get hold of you guys?
So
That's a good point.
I'd ask Scott if he remembers. He struggled to remember our names. So
www.bestmates.org.
That's the
Gareth,
point.
you got it.
Gareth's been doing his own work.
Gareth, just in case you're wondering how Gareth remembered that, he's looking at my phone case.
Yeah, and the fact I got it all over my t-shirt.
Yeah. But you can go for our website, www.bestmates.org. Thank you, Gareth. You can visit our Instagram page, our Facebook page.
And do go on and have a read for what we're trying to achieve. You know, there's loads of stuff going on. We'll update it as much as we can.
So can people still donate if they want to do that now to top this up?
Yeah, they can still donate. But you know what? Get involved, right? Sign up for the London to Brussels ride next year. That's what we're doing. London to Brussels. We're varying up a little bit. We're going to go from London to Harwich, Hooker Holland, down through Amsterdam, into Brussels. We're going to make more of a trip of it. We had 12 amazing people plus me and Jeff on this ride. Let's double that. We've already got you two signed up. Let's double that.
Richard will definitely come on. Yeah, we'll get Richard definitely.
And just on from that, if you can't do that and you want to do an event and want to try to help raise funds for us and awareness, then we're right up for talking to people about how they can help. How we can help them do that.
Yeah, definitely,
because it all helps.
It's a massive thing. Obviously, we're obviously now connected. We're now best mates.
Yeah.
Yes.
You are.
You are
Best
best mates.
mates.
Well, listen. Yeah, exactly that. And we got some work to do. We got some conversations to have moving forward.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be quite
because
exciting.
obviously we've been speaking. We found down at Arlington, it's a business park. And they tried to do the mental health walk.
Okay.
They wanted to do a bit of like networking as well at the same time. And then obviously I said, look, this is what you guys do. So we're going to try and do it.
Yeah.
Get you guys to come down, set it up.
Good.
There's pieces on a Wednesday.
Yeah, cool.
So
Brilliant.
then
Walk and
obviously
talks.
can
And don't forget, Walk and Talk Wednesday, every Wednesday. Come
and that's
6 p.m. Yeah.
And I think we've got Walk and Talk in July 19th, I think, is it? With the mayor?
Oh, yeah, the mayor's coming. Yeah, we've got the mayor joining us. I can't remember the date off the top of my head, but July. I'll put it out. Follow the socials. Get onto Best Mates.
Where is your
obviously
walk
Open
and
Doors,
talk?
Open Minds will put it out as well. And I'm assuming if we put it out on Swindon,
Yep.
105.5.
Wednesday, July 17th, Coatwater, 6 p.m, Walk and Talk.
But Walk and Talk is every Wednesday. So if you want to just get out there and have a chat and air some issues, and if you need some help, by all means, join by like-minded people. It's quite safe, lovely place to be. It's good for you, and it'll work.
So I'm just looking at Michael. How are we doing for time, Michael? You've got 3 minutes, so
Okay.
we want to say thank you very much, guys, and all the rest of the people out there that have supported you, that have donated, everything like that. I want to say thank you from the radio station, from Open Doors, obviously Best Mates, not best friends.
Yeah,
It's amazing that we're sat here having these conversations. Yeah, you guys invited us on as soon as we'd finished. It's great to just keep that feeling alive that we've just done. Because
I've actually been looking forward to this.
Yeah, I'm very aware.
For somebody I only met a couple of weeks ago, I've been watching your Instagram and Facebook and social media like I've known you all my life.
Because exactly, it's great, isn't it?
It's
You want
amazing.
to see what's going on, and then from us, we've been in it, we've been doing it, but it's great to have those conversations. Even yourself, you've messaged me a couple of times on the way. And it's a booster. You're thinking, somebody else I've connected with,
Knowing
somebody
that
else I
other
can
people
work
are
with.
there and you're actually doing it.
It's
the
huge.
crazy part.
It really is.
That's the real good bit. But we got finished with
2.5.
2.5. You boys don't talk very long.
Don't talk for long, do we?
No.
So, we've got the winter ball as well.
So on the Winter Ball,
Yep.
how can they get involved with that one? What was can they sponsor? Can someone come in as a sponsor?
They can come in as a sponsor if they like, or they can come and join us at the Winter Ball. It's £150 a ticket. That's a 3-course meal. That's entertainment. That's music. It's going to be a great night. It's the 23rd of November, so it's right in time for Christmas parties. So you can, kill two birds with one stone and come to that.
Book up now,
and that's going to be a proper event. That is a real showcase event for us to be able to tell people what it is we've done throughout the course of the last year, what we've raised, how we've helped people, and what we plan to do next, as well as have a really great time doing it.
Yeah, that's obviously, I think the time you get the 23rd of November, the stuff that you've done, and obviously you have more of an update of what's done.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I have learned is we'll blink and we'll be there.
Yeah, this year has gone
seriously. When we were in London on Monday, I couldn't quite believe that we were about to set off. The nerves and everything. It was like, I can't believe it had come around that quick. Don't underestimate. There's so much good stuff going on. It just flies.
Yeah. So obviously that's the 23rd of November.
Yeah. 23rd of November.
At the Thames Walk, which obviously I want to come on.
I think it's September the 14th. Yeah.
September the 14th.
It's 100k walk.
Reading, rather than walking past my house to get off there. But is there a van for that one?
Yeah, Jeff will be in it.
Yeah. More like a coach, to be fair. Yeah.
But anybody that wants to do that one, because more than welcome to come and join.
Yep.
Obviously we've done the website, we've done the social media. So even if you need to get hold of best mates between us, obviously you can't obviously find it, and you've got Open Doors, Open Minds, we will connect you up.
You'll see it all over the socials.
Yeah.
If you get on them socials,
they're not allowed to get away from us now.
Yeah.
No. And actually, just as important as all of that, if anyone wants to be a mate, or if anyone wants to do what we do and help people, be a part of our organisation and help people, we want to hear from you.
Yep. So that's
key.
That is
we can't do it without those people. And
so have you got many volunteers at the moment then?
Last count I think it was about 16, 17 people.
Oh, wow.
Which is growing all the time. Which just allows us, when people come forward, allows us to find the right matches for people who've been through them same situations.
Yes, it's a peer-to-peer.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're still looking, and if people want to be on board and they're interested, then reach out and we'll have a conversation.
Okay, we've just been time to say goodbye.
Oh.
Well, it's been a blast again, gentlemen. So
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well done for what you've achieved.
Everybody on, we're proud that
Thank you.
That you've done.
Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah.
And the mental health community and the rest of it are very proud. Well done, fellas.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.